Hello, everybody, and welcome to another RCT2 review stream. Today, we are in for a treat, I think. This is StormRunnerFan's Disney's Glacier Cove Water Park, and this is the first time that I've looked at this park. I haven't opened it until just a second ago before I started the stream, and so this is going to be a blind run. We're going to take a look at this real time and see what this park is all about. It was a new release today on New Element, and it's gotten a lot of pretty good feedback so far. Definitely a Blizzard Beach style water park from Disney. This one is set in California as a third gate over there at Disneyland. Really amazing README. So when you download the file, take a look at the README. It's got some cool maps and just details behind it. It looks like a park brochure. I mean, it's super high quality, really well done. So let's get into this park, I guess, and take a look. There's a lot of outskirts too, so we're gonna start just here, I think, and we'll unpause it and get rid of our toolbars here and take a look. So first thing we got is a couple of these kind of cool bendy buses here coming through at the little bus drop-off area. We got our parking deck over there, and we have all the different sort of beach themed, or well, Blizzard Beach, I suppose. Like you get the sun and the snow, so it's definitely like the water park down here in Florida. Um, as you come in, we can see there's some metal detectors here on either side. As you come in, it looks like you can skip those if you take the bus, but that's all right, I guess. Really cool sign here, just using the stock vanilla object snowman, and then the snow or the snowflakes there and everything. We have our actual queue line here for the tickets. Always a nice little touch there, and then just a bunch of little details here with the skis and the icicles hanging off of the roof. I think what I like about this so far is that it's not full on snow everywhere. Like, you're not covering everything. It's just kind of tastefully stacked in there, because I think a lot of times you fall into the trap of these icicles just going everywhere, and every overhanging spot gets an icicle, and that really isn't the right way to do it in a good kind of tasteful manner. So let's keep going and take a look here. I have this really great photo op here in the front. Have our little picture taking peep here, and all of that, and then a couple of little guest service type buildings in here where we have gift shops, the beach house, and the cooling hut, which are, I believe, two that were named in the real one. And then here is this it? It is. So this is Lotta Wada Lounge, which is the actual restaurant at Blizzard Beach also. So it looks like he's reusing some of the names from there, which I have no problem with. Really like this sort of alpine architecture here with the nice blue metal roofs, the steep roofs for one, and then a lot of curves here. Just seeing all the inverted monorail track and everything. I saw a lot of comments on how well the curves were done here, and I can see it because it looks consistent across the board. I think that's one of the big issues. If you do curves on things, you really ought to be consistent throughout. So love this terraced seating area too. A couple of these little huts throughout. Just really nicely done. Here's a diagonal truss bridge, which is gorgeous. Really gorgeous. The light faces the other way. Maybe something that could go the opposite direction, but that's great. Little wayfinding sign here, and then we have our water tower right here, and then it looks like a little times board perhaps on the wall here as we cross over the lazy river. So here's one entrance to the lazy river, and I think there's another. I'm sure there must be more throughout, but let's start here on the beach. So you can go down into the beach and hit up the wave pool, which has just amazing curves throughout the whole thing. Kind of set on the diagonal, but it's really not any kind of standard setup, which I really appreciate, actually. I think that's really nicely done. And the fact that you have the lounging peeps on the beach, but you have the folks still walking across. And then look at these light towers on kind of all the way around. And then what I assume these are cabanas here. They look like it. Either spas or cabanas there. It's just really super cool. I'll take the bridge across here. It looks like it's another load spot for the um, lazy river. What is the lazy river called? So it's Cross Country Creek. I think it's clever. I like this, the lazy river integrating into the wave pool there. That's sort of a Schlitterbahn concept where they sort of integrate a lot of the different stuff to each of the places, or to each of the different attractions. Um, oh man, look at this snow groomer machine here that is a little grab and go restaurant, it looks like, or a little snack stand. More of these cabanas. There's some great filtration work in the back. Good kind of attempt at explaining kind of the back of house in here. Looks like as we go along, here's a nice little kind of statue-looking thing with the tube, and then two more truss bridges here that get you across to the other side. So it looks like this is sort of a private lounge area over here with the cabanas. You can see the rope there, and then the beach area, as well as just all of that access on the kind of special little bridge across the river there. So that must be the premium spot, I would guess. Diagonal bridge across here to the chairlift. So just aptly named chairlift that takes you up to the top of the hill. Not a huge mountain, but I think in scale it works well. And actually, one of the things now that I look over here is the differentiation in color from the deepest portion of the wave pool out to the shallowest. That's a nice gradient and really helps make this feel deeper than it actually is. I like that quite a bit. Alright, so what do we got here? So here's another bridge across. It looks like this is the exit for the water coaster, and I'm guessing that is also the entrance. Okay, so we're going to start and stop in the same spot. So the Pro Slide LSM water, or LIM water slides can do this. The Volcano Bay one does really well. Looks like he's using the log flume cars, which is pretty clever. Toboggan run. Let's watch this. Our first hill there, and then our second hill up. Spin around and going down through here, wrap around, back into the mountain, up, and then we're going to have our final big drop right here. Nice splash there underneath that exit ramp, and then up into this actual splash area here. Man, I love that. Like the spill track here, we have our little finish board with some detailed information there. Really great setup. I like how this is the backdrop for the wave pool here, where it sort of weaves in and out of all the different things, and you can see all the ice that's sort of melting down into the water here. Wow, that's a great looking ride. It does remind me a lot of the Volcano Bay water coaster, and I think that was intentional. Definitely has that good look to it. All right, what do we have here? So here's the little kids area. So here's the bunny slope slide tubes, and okay, so all four of these are the same. So we have our little kid slides here on either end. More cabanas and things throughout. This over here, though, is a meet and greet. So here's character performer Goofy. Here's character performer Mickey Mila. So very nice. And this is restrooms and information right here. And lots to see. So this is a cute little kids area. Kind of small, but I think done well. Our lazy river kind of going through all this bit. Really liking all the bridges. Like this guy's got some great support work on it. The truss bridges over there, and then this one's just really beautiful. A lot of diagonals, a lot of curves, all done very, very well. I think we've gotten enough objects now over the years for custom rides and things like that you can really start to make a successful water park. And there's been plenty of attempts over the years to do this, and been done to varying levels of success. But I mean, I think this one's easily gonna win out on all those. So let's see here. So this looks like the pathway up the slopes. If you want to take that all the way up to the top, or you can take the sky ride up here and walk all the way up to the top. And this is sort of our top area where we got a lot going on. Couple things here. So let's just gonna look at each of these. Here's the Icy Dips slide, which is sort of like a double, triple dip slide here, splash out into the splashdown pool. It's kind of a neat design. And then the big guy here, which is the triple diamond drops. This one looks a lot like the Blizzard Beach one and done really well with the fake ski jump here and the tower with the overhanging bits. I like how the bits overhang here for the pathway because it doesn't look too bulky in that case. You kind of want it to look thin and tall, sort of statuesque almost, I guess. And then here it drops down into the mountain, and then you come out through this kind of long tube here that is neat. It kind of looks like a pipe for like a drainage pipe or something like that as it comes across the landscape, and then it splashes down here into the pool. That's neat. Would have been kind of neat to see this as a splash out rather than a pool. So basically, just like one of the Pro Splash elements where it's just a shallow water thing. A lot of parks are using that now instead. All right, so let's take a look at this side. This is our first family raft. So this is half pipe plunge, and as we can see why it's called half pipe plunge, that is super cool. So we have our first like buried half pipe in the mountain here, and then our second one over top. And holy cow, we have all the little gates and everything. That's just incredible. I love the orange, how it kind of offsets the bright, almost blue, well, definitely blue of the snow. And then this guy here is our, let's see, Ice Flow Falls, starting from the same spot, ending at the same spot, and then they're going to share a conveyor coming back up, which is nice. I like this one. This is actually similar to my favorite ride at Blizzard Beach, I think, is the kind of big continuous raft ride that just goes on for what feels like ages. I love all the gates here, the red and the blue and the teal gates kind of hanging over, and then all this just support wood truss work that's down here. It just looks really nice. Did a very good job on all of that. Then we have a triple slide here. So this is the Snowy Chute bobsled. This is the Snowy Chute 2. This is the bobsled track, I see. So just Snowy Chute for these three. These are great. So open slide and closed slide. I like using the bobsled for the helix pieces because that's the one kind of criminally unavailable piece for bobsled or for water slide buildings. There's no helix, which is arguably the most useful piece for a water slide, so it's a little bit disappointing that we never had one. Really liking how these sort of nest in each other on the side here, and then splash out at the bottom, and then look at this diagonal lift return. Obviously not used for it, but it's covered in there very nicely, and then the ride hacking itself must teleport itself up there. I really like what he used here for the little B&M coaster here underneath, and then we have Mine Train on top of that. Actually, it works really, really well. There are stacks of tubes up here on either side. Here's another path up to the top of the mountain, so if you feel like climbing rather than taking the lift. And then this looks like maybe the last slide on the mountain. So this is the slalom slopes. We have 3 of them here. So I think this is sort of meant to be the mat racer like Blizzard Beach has. Really love how this is just nestled in there. It's kind of the same way as those kiddie slides that we looked at earlier. Just the way that it's buried into the slope and has the ice and the snow kind of surrounding it on either side. It's really well done. I mean, for what's essentially a pretty formulaic layout, it's just drops, curve, the other direction, more drop, and into the splashdown pool. It's just really, really nicely done. And there's so many little details like the deco pieces here at the end of the tube and then up at the beginning of the tube. I like how the queue line kind of goes down into the water. You have the different starting area. And I mean, even the triangular awnings, which are pretty simple, pretty straightforward, they look good here, and it offers that interesting splash of color. I mean, you look at the screen and there's no real yellow or orange anywhere else in the screen except for some of the tubes and things like that, and it just sets it off so well against the rest of it and gives it that additional extra color without being just too busy with everything that's going on. So really commend that effort. It's well done there. So here's more cabanas. I like that there's so many cabanas because that's a huge thing as far as all this goes. Most water parks are really going to cram in as many cabanas as you can because that's going to make you the most money. Let's take a look at some of these details on the lazy river. So some like snow lances here that are shooting the water out into the thing. Here's a little cave here with the supports coming up on either side. I like that the ground looks, sort of artificial enough that the whole thing is covered up underneath. Looks properly supported, and then you have the water coming off of the frame here. Um, just super well done. And then let's go back to the cabanas here. I know I'm skipping around, but there's just so much to see. Look, red, green, blue. There's a lot of variety in color here, so it's not all literally just copy and paste. There's a lot to see and a lot to look at here. Another curved bridge coming across, and then this diagonal bridge. This park probably breaks the grid more than any other park I've seen lately. Just super well done. You love this little sign with the stacked barrels here. That's great. All the wood pieces for the back of house access. Here's another restroom and info building. Another beach scene on this side, and then as we've been spinning around, you can kind of see the back of house wall here, the retaining wall that kind of kicks up. And then I like the just different snowflakes that are added on the back side here because it's back of house, but obviously seen from this giant hotel over here. So it still has a little bit of just simple theming, just to acknowledge that this park is what it is, and it has all the different elements to it. So there's a lot more thought here than I think um, might be visible at the surface. Another great tunnel here coming through, using kind of the same details, and then I like this little sprayer hut on the side here with the barrels and everything. Lots of nice little lifeguard stands, little details like that. You come out on this side, and you've got the couple of little shop things here. So this is Patty's Burger House. This is Slice's Pizza Counter. This is Scoop's Ice Cream Hut. And then just a couple other little buildings here. So it's very nicely done. And then it looks like there's a pathway up the front here if you want to go up. I'm sure some of that's got to do with just peep wayfinding, especially trying to get everybody up here, because the real Blizzard Beach has kind of like one route and then the chairlift, but this probably needs to have a couple more. And as the signature shot, this is just beautiful. I mean, you imagine sitting here in the sand, watching your kids swim in the wave pool, but then you have this slide up above here. You have this next band of landscaping, another band of snow and everything up here, and then this like huge structure just hanging up above it with the pathway that comes around it. I really like the rock retaining wall that's offset with the wood. It's got some stone and natural materials in there. Just really nice. I know I have a lot of good things to say about this, but I'm really impressed. I was looking forward to this park all day, so I'm happy to see that it's kind of lived up to some expectations, for sure. Yeah, lots of little bits. I mean, it's not a huge park when you look at it all, but there's a lot packed in there as far as slides and things go like that. I mean, there's certainly slides that I think you could argue for adding, but done really well, and I kind of like how it transitions over. Like, there's not anything over here except for the shopping, dining, things like that. So it kind of transitions from more kind of calming, relaxing up to the Thrill Mountain here of sorts. This is probably my favorite combination of slides. This Pro Slide Mammoth River with the double tornado wave thing here going on. I mean, it's just really incredible. the detail that's in there. Well, let's take a look now outside the park a little bit, just because there's a lot more to see, I think. So here's some back of house custodians and security all walking in some of these back of house pathways. Here's backstage vehicles, cast member backstage buses. Uh, got our dumpsters here. A lot of these little mobile, they look like mobile buildings for offices. It's pretty common for theme parks and things like that. Here's our security gate right here with the bollards and everything. And these are very Disney, where they have these security baffles that fold down when you are allowed in from an access standpoint. So that's very cool. I like that the back of the building still have a little bit of theme to them. Supervisor parking here. We have a couple stacked trash cans and all the extra bits there. So where does this go? So this is backstage roadway incline. So I'm assuming that goes off to something else. Oh no, I see. It's the entrance from the main road here. So there's a big sliding gate from an equipment standpoint. And this is actually very clever park making right here. You can see you can draw a line straight through and into the park. So if you have big heavy equipment, you have a flatbed with a bunch of stuff that you need to get offloaded, this is the way you take. When something like this little security gate isn't going to handle it, which by the way, that's a pretty cool entry security building there. This is how you would do it. So that's cool. That's really well done. A lot of heavy, repetitive landscaping out here, but honestly, that's what Disney does. It's just throw landscaping at it. So while it's a little bit samey out here, I guess, compared to what you have in here, I don't fault it. I think it's nice. So here we have Mechanic Lewis, who's going to these extra boats. So here's some of the extra boats for the Pro Slide Master Blaster. There's another access point into the back of house. Here's some filtration yards. So, I mean, realistically, this isn't enough filtration yards, and there's a lot more stuff to it beyond that. There's like backwash tanks, and there's a lot of other elements to it. But I think that this is probably the best attempt that I've seen at what these are so far. And I mean, you could theoretically assume that there's more of this under the mountain. That's where Volcano Bay's entire filtration yard is. So not surprising whatsoever. I think that sounds fine. I love this little extra car here in the back for the chairlift. Nicely done. Looks like the little bus stops here for cast members to get picked up and go around. And then here on this side is another security gate, another turnaround spot over here, and just some nice little buildings here. Let's see what these guys are. So this is the Glacier Cove Security Office. This is the cast services. I mean, I don't know if StormRunnerFan works at Disney or worked at Disney, but it definitely is built like somebody who has. So I'm very kind of impressed by all that. I like this, where the theming stops and then picks up as just this tile roof on the other side. That's a quality, realistic park building detail right there. Then this nice little ADA ramp up to the upper level on that side. And what is this? Wow, we got our power station coming in too. On the back side here, we have all of our transformers that have the incoming power coming through. Super cool. And then over here, this looks like a very Eisner Disney cast building. So this is Disneyland Hotel cast services. This is very very reminiscent of Michael Graves' architecture and things that you would see in the 1990s Disney. So that's well done. Look at these signs. Love those. Those are well done for all the bus stops here. And then roadway signs and everything here. Just very well done. I got our traffic coming through here at the couple of different angles there. Here's our crosswalk. So like I said, this, according to the README, this is set in California and Anaheim, basically just right next door to Disneyland. So these streets are actually based on real streets in real life. Look at this little detail. That's super cool. So this is like the crosswalk that would go over, or well, not the crosswalk, but this is the kind of setup that would go over to the other side, it looks like. Nice little bus stop here. Bus structure. Love these banners on the light poles. It's well done. Then we have our roadway Mickey here. So I had seen some comments that there's a bunch of hidden Mickeys inside the park. I'm not going to spot them in this video, but feel free to leave a comment in the comment section if you find some. This is neat though, the way that this pathway transitions into this kind of quick little hidden Mickey, and it's stylized too, so it's not just level on either side. Super well done there. And then we have our Disneyland Hotel, I'm guessing, or what are we calling this one? So this is Paradise Pier Hotel. Oh, would you look at that? Look at that curved element here, done with the curved rapids ride. And then we have this just really great wavy portico share on the outside here. You have your hotel sign, and then just lots of lush landscaping with the stacked hedge elements, and then the green flowers here. I think those green flowers are working really well. Loving this facade. It's a very old school hotel building where you had the upper levels hang out over the top or over some of the other ones. So it feels, again, very 80s, 90s time frame for all this. Got our nice glass elevator in there, little glass atrium. Man. And then on this side, we have our little pool area. So not a huge pool, but at least there's a pool and guests are swimming in it. And then here's our little water slide. All the good little hotels have that. So California's Dreamin' Slide. It's clever. Play off of California Screamin'. And then this is a pretty neat structure. So this is parking structure bridge. Kind of got this wavy element. This one looks a lot like the Bridge of the Contemporary Resort at Disney World, from the Contemporary Hotel Maine to the Bay Lake Towers Disney Vacation Club spot. That's cool, and it does double duty here because it hides, or it offers cover for the bus and kind of bus, taxi, and service vehicle entrance into the resort space here. I like the green planters and everything on either side of the parking garage, and we have the cutaway here that shows proper parking lot flow and everything. The handicap spaces in there and all that. It's just, there's lots and lots of detailing here. I mean, this is an incredible park. Love that sign on the corner. Little snack stand here. It's neat that this is raised up on the side here. Now, granted, you've got some good screening on this side, but and you got the screening here, but like from that water slide, you'll be able to look over into the park and see some of the stuff that you might be enjoying the next day, perhaps. Nice little loading dock here up to the park proper. I feel like I could look at this for another couple of hours and still be finding more detail. Just, I think what stands out to me most, and I'll kind of use this as my wrap up for interesting stuff, is the way that the curves were utilized is just incredible. I mean, you zoom out and it's just, there's really, the only thing that's grid-like here is the road around the outside. Everything else is on the diagonal, on the curve and diagonal. I mean, this water, or the wave pool here is doing that. All these bridges coming across. It's just super, super well done to break the grid, but do it in a way that doesn't look forced. Like, all of this is done so well to the point that you don't really see that it's forced. It was poorly worded, but I think you see what I mean. Just the amount of just details and great little touches in here are staggering, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what all more there is to say, because I think you could say quite a bit. And I definitely encourage you to go over, take a look at the park, and download this and see. This is, I think this is going to go down as one of well, certainly the best water park we've ever seen in the game. Much less one of the better park detailed builds. This really nails Disney realism super, super well. This is kind of up there at Disney's American Waterfront level, which is another famous RCT park that we'll be reviewing soon. So it might not be as far as density goes and some of the finer details of that, but I think the back of house details and kind of the little smaller things, it's really apparent here just how well everything is done. So um, absolutely worth checking out. I hope you will download this park and find the link in the description. But man, super cool, super well done. But we'll call that complete for the park review. So I really hope you enjoyed the review. I certainly enjoyed taking a look at this for the first time. So that was kind of a neat thing. So I might do that more often for some of these future reviews. If you have a park that you'd like to see reviewed that you would really like to see me take a look at, feel free to send it my way or leave a message in the comments, and I will take a look at it. We will be back with more park reviews, hacking tutorials, and more fun stuff in the future. So until next time, thanks very much for watching, and have a great day.